Have you ever looked into your child's eyes and seen someone else staring back? Have you ever heard your little one say something so impossible, so terrifyingly specific, that it made the hair on the back of your neck stand up? This is not just a story about a little girl who remembered things she couldn't possibly know. This is about injustice that echoed across 300 years of American history, about a mother's love that refused to stay buried, and about a curse spoken on the gallows that some say came true 25 years later. If any of this resonates with you, stay until the end, because what happens in the final minutes might change the way you see life, death, and the unbreakable bonds between mothers and children. If you feel something while watching this story, leave a like, tell me in the comments what you're thinking, and subscribe. Not for me, but for yourself, because sometimes sharing what we feel is also a way of healing. When 5-year-old Emma Richards started talking about being hanged, about a baby who died in a cold prison, and about a curse she placed on a minister, her parents thought she was having nightmares. But when she described details about colonial Massachusetts that no child could possibly know, details that matched historical records from 1692, the truth became terrifyingly clear. Some souls carry memories that death cannot erase. It was a quiet Sunday morning in their suburban home outside Philadelphia when everything changed. Jennifer Richards was 7 months pregnant with her second child, resting on the couch while her husband Michael prepared breakfast in the kitchen. Their daughter Emma sat on the floor nearby, talking softly to her mother's belly, something she had done every day since learning she would be a big sister. "Hi, baby," Emma whispered, pressing her small hand against Jennifer's stomach. "I'm going to take care of you. I promise I won't let anything bad happen to you." Jennifer smiled at her, daughter's sweetness, running her fingers through Emma's light brown hair. These moments of tenderness were her favorite part of the pregnancy. But then Emma's voice changed. It became distant, hollow, like she was speaking from somewhere far away. "My baby died in the cold place," Emma said, still touching her mother's belly. "They wouldn't give us blankets. They wouldn't give us food. And then they took me away, and my baby was all alone." Jennifer's blood ran cold. She sat up slowly, her heart beginning to pound. "Emma, sweetheart, what did you say?" Emma looked up at her mother with eyes that seemed suddenly too old, too heavy with something Jennifer couldn't understand. "Before I was Emma, I had a baby in the bad place, the place with chains. But the baby got sick because it was so cold and dark. And then the baby went to sleep and never woke up." Michael appeared in the doorway, spatula still in hand, his face pale. "Emma, where did you hear that?" he asked, trying to keep his voice steady. "Did you see something on TV?" "No, Daddy, I remember it. I remember the chains on my arms. I remember how heavy they were. I remember the smell." Emma wrinkled her nose. "It smelled like when something dies." Jennifer and Michael exchanged terrified glances. They had always been careful about what Emma watched. No news, no violent programs, nothing that could plant such horrific images in a 5-year-old's mind. "Emma," Jennifer said softly, kneeling down despite her pregnant belly, "can you tell Mommy more about this bad place? It was dark. There were other women there too. They were crying. Men in black clothes came and asked us questions, but they didn't believe our answers. They said we were lying. They said we belonged to the devil." Michael dropped the spatula. It clattered against the kitchen tiles, but he didn't move to pick it up. "They said we were witches," Emma continued, her voice barely above a whisper. "But I wasn't a witch, Mommy. I was just hungry." I was just trying to feed my little girl, and they killed me for it. They put a rope around my neck, and they killed me." That night, Emma woke up screaming at 3 a.m. Jennifer rushed to her daughter's room as fast as her pregnant body would allow. She found Emma sitting up in bed, drenched in sweat, her small hands clutching her throat. "The rope," Emma gasped. "It's too tight. I can't breathe. Mommy, I can't breathe." "Emma, baby, you're okay. You're safe. You're in your room in Pennsylvania. There's no rope." But Emma's eyes were fixed on something Jennifer couldn't see. Something far away, centuries away. "The man in black keeps asking me to say I'm a witch. But I'm not. I'm not a witch. I told him God will make him drink blood for what he's doing. I told him. Emma suddenly went limp, collapsing back onto her pillow. Her breathing slowed. Her eyes focused again, finding her mother's face. "Mommy," she whispered, sounding like a scared 5-year-old again. "I had the bad dream. The one where they hurt me for something I didn't do." Michael appeared in the doorway. "Again?" Jennifer nodded, holding Emma close. "The same dream?" "It's not a dream," Emma mumbled against her mother's chest. "It's remembering. I remember my other life, the life where I was Sarah." The name hit Jennifer like a physical blow. Sarah. Emma had never mentioned that name before. "Sarah who, baby?" But Emma was already falling back asleep, exhausted from whatever she had just experienced. If you're getting chills right now, imagining what Jennifer must be feeling, drop a heart in the comments and subscribe to the channel, because this story is going to keep you up tonight. The next morning, Jennifer couldn't shake what had happened. While Emma ate her cereal, seemingly back to her normal, cheerful self, Jennifer opened her laptop and began typing with trembling fingers. Salem Witch Trials. Sarah. Baby died prison. 1692. Michael looked over her shoulder, frowning. "Jen, what are you doing?" "I need to know. I need to see if any of this matches anything real." "It's just nightmares. Kids have vivid imaginations." "Michael, she said, God will make him drink blood. What 5-year-old says something like that? Where would she even hear those words?" The search results appeared on the screen. Jennifer clicked on the first link, a historical database about the Salem Witch Trials. And then she saw it. Sarah Good, one of the first 3 women accused of witchcraft in Salem, Massachusetts, arrested in February 1692. She was homeless, a beggar, married to a man named William Good, who testified against her at trial. She was pregnant when arrested. She gave birth to a baby girl named Mercy in prison. The baby died from the harsh conditions before Sarah's execution. Jennifer's hands were shaking so badly she could barely scroll. Sarah Good had a 4-year-old daughter named Dorcas, who was also arrested and chained in the dungeon for 8 months. The youngest person ever accused of witchcraft in American history. "Oh my God," Jennifer whispered. "Michael, look at this." She clicked on another link, a record of Sarah Good's execution. On July 19, 1692, Sarah Good was hanged at Proctor's Ledge in Salem. Before her execution, the Reverend Nicholas Noyes demanded that she confess. According to historical accounts, she responded with these words, "I am no more a witch than you are a wizard, and if you take away my life, God will give you blood to drink." Jennifer felt the room spin. 25 years later, she read aloud, her voice breaking. Reverend Nicholas Noyes died of an internal hemorrhage. According to witnesses, he choked on his own blood. Michael grabbed the edge of the table to steady himself. The engineer in him, the man who believed only in facts and evidence and things that could be measured, felt the foundations of his reality cracking. That's exactly what Emma said last night, word for word. I know. But how? How could she possibly know that? Before Jennifer could answer, Emma appeared in the kitchen doorway. She was holding a piece of paper and her crayons. Mommy, I drawed a picture. It's the place where they hurt me. Jennifer took the paper with trembling hands. The drawing showed a simple structure, a building with a triangular roof. Inside, stick figures of women were drawn with heavy marks on their arms and legs. Chains. One figure, smaller than the others, had long scribbles coming from its head, hair, and was drawn next to an even smaller figure, a baby. But it was what Emma had drawn at the top of the page that made Jennifer's heart stop. A tree, and hanging from the tree, 5 figures with ropes around their necks. That's me, Emma said, pointing to one of the hanging figures. That's the day I went to sleep and then woke up here with you and Daddy. Jennifer pulled Emma into her arms, tears streaming down her face. Over her daughter's shoulder, she stared at the computer screen, at the portrait of Sarah Good, a weathered woman with hollow eyes who had been executed more than 300 years ago in colonial America. And somehow, impossibly, that woman was now her daughter. That afternoon, Jennifer called every child psychologist in the greater Philadelphia area. Most couldn't see them for weeks, but one, a Dr. Patricia Holden, who specialized in unusual childhood cases, agreed to meet them that same evening. Dr. Holden's office was warm and welcoming, filled with toys and soft lighting. Emma immediately went to play with a dollhouse in the corner while the adults talked in hushed voices. What you're describing, Dr. Holden said carefully after hearing their story, is what some researchers call past life memories. It's rare, but not unheard of. There's actually a department at the University of Virginia that has studied over 2,500 cases of children who report memories of previous lives. But how is that possible? Michael asked, his skepticism battling with what he had witnessed. I can't tell you how it's possible, Mr. Richards. What I can tell you is that in documented cases, children often report memories between the ages of 2 and 7. They frequently describe how they died in the previous life, and they sometimes display knowledge they couldn't have acquired through normal means. So you believe us? Jennifer asked, hope creeping into her voice. I believe you're experiencing something real. Whether it's truly reincarnation or some other phenomenon we don't yet understand, I can't say. But I'd like to work with Emma. And I think... Dr. Holden paused, choosing her words carefully. I think you should consider taking her to Salem. Jennifer felt a chill run through her body. Salem? You mean Massachusetts? If Emma truly carries memories of Sarah Good's life, being in the actual locations might help us understand what's happening. It might also, she added gently, help Emma process these memories so they stop manifesting as nightmares. Michael shook his head. This is insane. You're talking about taking our 5-year-old to the place where she believes she was executed in a past life. I understand your hesitation, but sometimes the only way through trauma is through, even trauma that spans centuries. That night, after putting Emma to bed, Jennifer and Michael sat at the kitchen table, surrounded by printouts about Sarah Good, the Salem Witch Trials, and Dr. Ian Stevenson's research on children with past life memories at the University of Virginia. I found something else, Jennifer said quietly. The house where Sarah Good lived. Well, she was homeless by the time of the trials, but the area where her family had land is still there in Salem, and the prison where she was held, where the baby died. There's a memorial marker at the site now. Michael put his head in his hands. A month ago, our biggest problem was deciding what color to paint the nursery. Now you're telling me our daughter might be the reincarnation of a woman who was hanged for witchcraft in 1692. I know how it sounds. Do you? Because it sounds completely insane. Michael, she knew the exact words Sarah Good said before she died. She drew the execution site. She described the prison conditions. She knew about the baby. Michael was quiet for a long moment. When he finally looked up, there were tears in his eyes. I'm an engineer, Jen. I build bridges. I work with concrete and steel and mathematical formulas. Everything in my life has an explanation. Everything follows rules. But this, I don't have a formula for this. I don't have an explanation. Jennifer reached across the table and took his hand. Maybe some things can't be explained with formulas. Maybe some things can only be understood with the heart. From down the hallway, they heard Emma's voice, soft and clear, singing a melody neither of them had ever heard before. It was haunting, ancient, the kind of song that hadn't been sung in America for hundreds of years. When Jennifer went to check on her, she found Emma sitting up in bed, eyes closed, singing words in a dialect of English that sounded almost foreign. Emma, sweetheart? Emma opened her eyes. That was the song the other women sang in the bad place. When we were scared, we sang together. It made the dark feel less dark. Jennifer sat on the edge of the bed, her heart breaking. Baby, how would you feel about taking a trip to see the places you remember? Emma's eyes widened. You mean Salem? You'd take me back to Salem? Back. Not to. Back. Yes, sweetheart. Would you like that? Emma nodded slowly. I need to go back, Mommy. There's something I never got to finish. Something I promised. What did you promise? Emma touched her mother's pregnant belly, her small hand gentle. I promised my little girl I would come back for her. I promised Dorcas I wouldn't leave her alone forever. Jennifer felt the baby kick beneath Emma's palm, and in that moment, she understood that they were all connected in ways that defied explanation. Two mothers, two daughters, separated by 3 centuries, but bound by something stronger than time. Write justice in the comments if you believe that some wrongs deserve to be remembered. Hit like if your eyes are filling with tears. And subscribe because we're just getting started with this journey into one of the darkest chapters of American history. Part 2. 3 days later, the Richards family drove north through New England, the autumn leaves painting the countryside in shades of fire and gold. Emma sat quietly in the back seat, her face pressed against the window, watching the landscape change as they crossed from Pennsylvania into Connecticut, then into Massachusetts. Are you okay, sweetheart? Jennifer asked, turning around in her seat. Emma nodded slowly. The trees look the same. The trees haven't changed. Michael gripped the steering wheel tighter. Every strange thing Emma said now carried weight, made him question everything he thought he knew about the world. As they approached Salem, Emma became increasingly agitated. Her small body tensed, her breathing quickened. I can feel it, she whispered. I can feel the fear. So many people were afraid here. They checked into a small bed and breakfast on the outskirts of town. The owner, an elderly woman named Margaret, smiled warmly as she handed them their keys. Visiting for the history? She asked. Something like that, Michael muttered. That evening, they walked through the streets of downtown Salem. The town had transformed its dark past into a tourist attraction, with witch-themed shops and museums on every corner. But Emma paid no attention to the commercial displays. Her eyes were fixed on something else, something only she could see. "It wasn't like this," she said quietly. "It was smaller, dirtier. People were scared all the time, scared of each other." They stopped in front of the Salem Witch Museum, a large stone building that had once been a church. Emma stared up at it, trembling. "I don't want to go in there," she said. "We don't have to, baby," Jennifer assured her. "No," Emma shook her head. "I need to, but I'm scared. The last time I was in a church here, they called me a liar. They said I belonged to the devil." Jennifer knelt down, taking Emma's hands. "That was a long time ago. No one will hurt you now. Daddy and I are here. We'll protect you." Emma looked at her mother with those ancient eyes. "You can't protect people from what other people believe. That's what I learned. When people decide you're evil, nothing you say matters anymore." If you're watching this and feeling chills run down your spine, you're not alone. Leave a comment telling me what you're feeling right now. And if you haven't subscribed yet, this is your sign. The next morning, they visited the Salem Witch Trials Memorial, a quiet park tucked behind an old cemetery. Stone benches lined the walls, each one inscribed with the name of a victim, their execution date, and their method of death. Emma walked slowly along the wall, reading each name silently. When she reached one particular bench, she stopped. Her whole body went rigid. "This is me," she whispered. Jennifer and Michael looked at the inscription. Sarah Good, hanged, July 19, 1692. Emma sat down on the bench, her small hands tracing the letters of the name. Tears began streaming down her face. "They didn't even let me say goodbye to Dorcas," she said, her voice breaking. "They took me away, and she was crying and reaching for me through the bars. She kept screaming, 'Mama, Mama!' And I couldn't hold her. I couldn't tell her it would be okay, because it wasn't going to be okay." Jennifer sat beside her daughter, own tears falling freely. Michael stood frozen, watching his little girl mourn a death that had happened 3 centuries before either of them was born. "She was only 4 years old," Emma continued. "They put chains on her little arms because they said she was a witch too. My baby, my little Dorcas. They chained her like an animal because of me, because they hated me." "It wasn't your fault," Jennifer whispered. "I was her mother. I was supposed to protect her. But I couldn't protect anyone. Not Mercy, who died before she even got to live. Not Dorcas, who they broke into pieces. Not myself." Emma looked up at the sky, as if speaking to someone far away. "William said I was evil. My own husband stood in front of everyone and said I was an enemy to all good. He was supposed to love me. He promised to love me. But when they came for me, he saved himself." Michael felt something crack inside his chest. He thought of his own wife, his own daughter, and couldn't imagine ever betraying them, no matter what. "What happened to Dorcas?" he asked quietly, speaking for the first time. After Sarah died." Emma's face twisted with pain. "She stayed in the chains for 8 more months. A 4-year-old girl, alone in the dark, waiting for a mother who was never coming back. When they finally let her out, she wasn't Dorcas anymore. She wasn't anyone. They broke her mind. Her father, William, he said she was useless after that she couldn't govern herself. He didn't even want her anymore. Jennifer pulled Emma close, rocking her gently. "I'm so sorry, baby. I'm so sorry that happened to you, to her, to all of you." "The worst part," Emma said against her mother's chest, "is that everyone knew. Everyone in Salem knew we were innocent, but no one stopped it. They were all too afraid to speak up, and so they let us die." That afternoon, they drove to Proctor's Ledge, the rocky outcropping where the executions had actually taken place. For centuries, people had believed the hangings occurred at Gallows Hill. But recent research had confirmed this small, unremarkable spot as the true location where 19 innocent people had lost their lives. Emma stood at the edge of the memorial, looking out at the ordinary suburban neighborhood that now surrounded the site. Houses with manicured lawns, cars in driveways, children's toys scattered on porches. "They built houses here," she said. "People live their normal lives right where we died." "Does that bother you?" Dr. Holden asked. She had driven up from Philadelphia to observe Emma's reactions, to document whatever was happening. Emma thought for a moment. "No, I think it's good. Life kept going. That's what's supposed to happen. The living aren't supposed to stay stuck in the past." She paused. "I just wish they remembered. I wish they knew what happened right under their feet." She walked to the center of the memorial, where a small marker stood with the names of all 19 victims. Emma placed her hand on it, closed her eyes, and began to speak. "Rebecca, Susanna, Elizabeth, Sarah, Martha, Mary, George, John, Samuel. I remember your faces. I remember your voices. We sang together in the dark. We held each other when we were scared. You were my friends, the only friends I had at the end." Jennifer watched her daughter speak to ghosts, and for the first time, she didn't feel afraid. She felt honored. Honored to witness this moment of remembrance for people who had been forgotten for so long. "I'm sorry I couldn't save any of you," Emma continued. "But I want you to know that people remember now. People come here from all across America to learn about what happened. Your names are written in stone. You're not forgotten anymore." She opened her eyes and looked at her mother. "I think that's why I came back. Not just for Dorcas, but for all of them. So someone who was there could finally tell the truth." Write "remembered" in the comments if you believe these victims deserve to have their stories told. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. That evening, something unexpected happened. They were eating dinner at a small restaurant in town when Emma suddenly grabbed Jennifer's hand and placed it on her pregnant belly. "She's here," Emma said, her eyes wide. "She's listening." "The baby?" "Yes, honey, she's been kicking a lot today." "No, Mommy, she's here. Dorcas, she found me." Jennifer's heart nearly stopped. "What do you mean?" Emma pressed her ear against her mother's belly, listening intently. Then she began to speak in a soft, soothing voice, the voice of a mother comforting a frightened child. "It's okay, baby girl. It's okay. Mama's here. I know you've been waiting so long. I know you've been so scared. But you don't have to be scared anymore. We're going to be together again. I promised I would come back for you, and I did. I did." Tears were streaming down Jennifer's face. Michael had stopped eating, his fork frozen halfway to his mouth. "Emma," Dr. Holden said carefully, Are you saying that the baby inside your mother is...
Dorcas, Emma said simply. She waited for me. For over 300 years she waited. And now we found each other again. But this time,
She looked at Jennifer with fierce determination.
this time, no one will take her away from me. This time, I'll protect her. I'll be the big sister, and I'll keep her safe forever.
Jennifer felt the baby kick strongly, as if responding to Emma's words. And in that moment, she understood something profound. This pregnancy, Emma's memories, their trip to Salem, none of it was coincidence. They had all been drawn together by something greater than any of them could comprehend. Two souls, separated by violence and injustice, finally finding their way back to each other in a new family, a new life, a new chance.
Is that why you chose us? Jennifer whispered to Emma. So you could find Dorcas again?
Emma smiled, and it was the first truly peaceful smile Jennifer had seen on her daughter's face since this all began.
I chose you because you're a good mama. I knew you would love both of us. I knew you would believe me when I told you the truth. And I knew,
she placed her hand on Jennifer's belly again,
that you would give Dorcas the life she was supposed to have, the life they stole from her.
Michael finally spoke, his voice rough with emotion.
So, our new baby, she'll have these memories too? She'll have nightmares like Emma? No, Emma shook her head. Dorcas was too young when it happened. She doesn't remember the bad things like I do. She just remembers being scared and alone and wanting her mama. But now she won't be alone anymore. Now, she'll have all of us.
The next morning, before leaving Salem, Emma asked to visit one more place. They drove to the old cemetery on Charter Street, one of the oldest burying grounds in the United States, where many people connected to the witch trials were buried. Emma walked among the ancient headstones, reading names that had been worn by centuries of New England weather. She stopped at one grave in particular. The stone was weathered, cracked, barely legible, but Emma knew exactly whose it was.
Reverend Nicholas Noyes, she read aloud, died December 13th, 1717.
This is the man you cursed, Dr. Holden said. The one who demanded you confess.
Emma nodded. I told him God would give him blood to drink. And 25 years later, he choked on his own blood. She paused. I used to be glad about that. When I first remembered, I felt satisfied, like justice had been done. And now?
Jennifer asked.
Now I just feel sad. Sad that so much hatred existed. Sad that I carried it inside me even after death. Sad that my last words were a curse instead of a prayer.
Emma looked up at her mother.
I don't want to hate anymore, Mommy. I've been hating for 300 years. I'm tired.
Jennifer knelt down and held her daughter close.
Then let it go, baby. You don't have to carry it anymore.
Emma turned back to the grave. She closed her eyes, took a deep breath, and spoke.
Nicholas Noyes, I forgive you. I forgive you for not believing me. I forgive you for calling me a witch. I forgive you for watching me die and thinking you were doing God's work. You were wrong. But being wrong doesn't make someone evil. It just makes them human.
She opened her eyes.
And I forgive William, my husband who betrayed me. I forgive him too. He was weak and scared, and he made a terrible choice. But I understand now that fear can make people do terrible things. I don't want to be bound to that fear anymore.
A gentle breeze swept through the cemetery, rustling the autumn leaves.
And something shifted. Something released.
Emma's shoulders dropped, the tension she had carried for weeks, for centuries, finally melting away.
"It's done," she whispered. "Sarah's story is finished. Now, I'm just Emma."
"Just Emma?" Jennifer asked, smiling through her tears.
"Well," Emma grinned, "Emma who knows a lot about American history. My teachers are going to be very confused when I already know everything about colonial Massachusetts." For the first time in what felt like forever, the family laughed together. 6 months later, in a hospital in Philadelphia, Jennifer gave birth to a healthy baby girl. They named her Dorothy, a name Emma had specifically requested. "It's close to Dorcas," Emma explained, "but different. Because she's not Dorcas anymore. She's Dorothy. She gets to have her own name and her own life. A life where no one will ever put chains on her. A life where she's loved and safe and free." Emma held her baby sister for the first time, tears of joy streaming down her face. "Hi, baby girl," she whispered. "We made it. We finally made it." And as the afternoon sun streamed through the hospital window, casting golden light on the two sisters reunited across centuries,
Jennifer understood that some bonds truly are eternal. Death couldn't break them. Time couldn't erase them. Injustice couldn't destroy them. Sarah Good had kept her promise. She had come back for her daughter. And in a modern hospital room in the United States of America, 333 years after a terrible wrong was committed, two souls who had been torn apart by fear and hatred finally found their way home to each other. The story of Sarah Good doesn't end with her death on the gallows. It ends here, with a 5-year-old girl and a newborn baby, with a family that chose to believe the impossible, and with the simple truth that love, when it's real, always finds a way. Sometimes the impossible is just something we haven't understood yet. Maybe it's not about believing or not believing. Maybe it's about listening with an open heart. Because when love is real, there's no death, no distance, no time that can stop it. And if this story touched something inside you, even a sigh, a memory, or a tear, don't let it stay just with you. Leave a comment. Tell me what you felt. Subscribe if you want to keep hearing stories that aren't just watched, but lived. Because this isn't just a video. It's a reminder that love, when it's eternal, always finds its way back.